How's it going, everybody? My name is Warner Fields with Fields of Profit. I'm a six-figure Amazon seller and full-time student, and in today's video we're going to be looking into how to price your inventory. It can be a kind of tricky process to learn where to specifically price the inventory to kind of maximize the profit but also actually get the sales. So I'm going to be diving into some specific kind of case studies with products that I've sold in the past, times where I've decided to go ahead and tank the price to get rid of the inventory, get my capital back, and times where I've kind of been able to tell that the price will probably be able to recover. So I'm going to be able to show you some things to look out for on Keepa graphs and in your repricing software. Before we do that, I want to say if you could go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be helping out your business, so if you could help out mine, hit that button. Let's make it a fair trade. Let's jump right into it. So I've just got a couple products that I've sold out of in the past. I'm going to show you some simple little tricks you can use on Keepa to kind of tell when you should go ahead and tank the price or when to go ahead and wait for the price to come up. So this is an example right here. I bought this product back in November when the Keepa looked like this, and then it went up into December. I think I bought it during December when it looked really good because I was buying these for $7.70 a unit. From JCPenney. There was some kind of sale or something. So I was looking at $17.50 and they were going to sell like this, and they were going to make me $4.50 a unit, 25% margin. This looked like a home run product, but you can see on this Keepa graph down here, everyone else saw the exact same thing, and the new offer count went from 16 all the way up to a peak of like 50, and the new price tanked pretty far. But in cases like this where the new sellers increase really fast, it's a pretty common pattern that a whole bunch of new sellers will come onto it. They'll all realize that it's not profitable, and then it'll gradually trickle off. I've seen this over and over and over again. So if you see a massive decline and a massive decline in price where it goes like this, and the new sellers go like this, you can almost kind of predict that the price is going to recover and go back up as those new sellers realize that they don't want to replenish that product. So in this case, I actually went ahead and didn't sell at this low price down here. At one point, it was like $13.50. Let's see here. It was $13.50. So I would have made $1. That's not great. That's an 8% margin. That's probably barely covering your prep costs and shipping costs. Maybe leaving you 50 cents to go ahead and make and profit there. But I went ahead and set my repricer. I use BeCool AI. It's a very powerful AI. AI repricer. If you don't already have a repricer, go ahead and check it out down below. You get a free trial that way. And I also have a video up there somewhere on how I use BeCool. I think it's a really good repricer. So I actually went ahead and set my minimum price at 14, knowing that the price would come up and I'd be able to make a little bit more money out of it. So that was just kind of the floor price. It's like, hey, okay, I need to at least make, $1 after all my costs on this item, just because I knew it would probably take a while for this price to recover. But I still wanted to make a little bit of money, and I saw these new offers decreasing really quickly through this 13 price. And it looks like I was eventually able to sell out at $14.38. I was able to sell, I think I had 10 to 20 units of this. So let's just go ahead and plug in $14.38 here. So I was able to make almost $2, not great, but I was able to kind of see ahead and know that I could turn that $1 profit, barely covering my costs, into $2 where I make a little bit, nothing to write home about. But at the end of the day, it's about getting rid of that item so you can go ahead and put that capital into something new. Think about it as an investment, sort of. So if your investment in this makeup palette is not looking good, and you see these signs on the Keepa that maybe the price will go up a little bit in the short run, but you don't really know how high it's going to go up eventually. You might want to put it just a little bit up, set your sell limit or whatever it would be in the stock world, so that your investment makes you a little bit of money. You can get out and then put your money somewhere else. So we're also going to look at something where the price is very clearly just going to tank, and you should get out as soon as possible. So it's kind of hard to tell the difference sometimes, but this product I've sold in the past. I was buying these for about $9 a unit. They've gone up in price significantly. This is no longer profitable. But when I was selling it, it looked like this. This is back in February of this year. So it's been a while since I've had this product in stock. But the thing I was looking at here was the new sellers were not increasing, but the price was decreasing, along with the sales rank kind of increasing here. So this tells me that maybe this product just isn't that in demand anymore, or maybe there's another listing on Amazon somewhere where Amazon's maybe selling it for less, and those customers are just finding a better deal somewhere. So this price is just slowly tanking, even though the new offers isn't increasing. This tells me that this is not a kind of one-time deal where the price is going to tank and then it'll come back up. If it's tanking with a bunch of new offers not changing, I want to get out of this product as soon as possible. So I think let's see if I can grab this ace in here, and I'll go back into Be Cool, and we'll check this one out real quick. So you can see I set my floor way back then to 1650. Looks like I was kind of gotten stuck holding the bag here. This would have been, this probably sold way back, I would say probably January area. So I saw this pattern. It wasn't going to come back because of this new offer count. So I went ahead and knocked down that price. But at this price, you know, I'm still getting my money back, making a little bit for my trouble. But I didn't want to go play games and see if it would come back when this new offer count isn't increasing. There's no other reason that the price should be decreasing, because demand is just decreasing and then the supply isn't changing. So that tells me that people are just going to want to be paying less for it in the future. And if you want to kind of look into why I priced it at 1650, your floor and ceiling prices actually do matter quite a bit. So we can see back here in the past that the product sells really well at this $21 price point, and then it sells decently at 23. But every time it hits 20, it really starts to move volume, and then anytime it goes down here, it really moves at 16, but that's not profitable. We don't really want to sell it there. So my ceiling price on this one was wherever the product really starts to move, which in this case was $20. You could make the argument that 21 would be okay, but I think I made 20 the ceiling here because I really wanted to generate that volume. You can go ahead and price higher on items where it's possible, but I'd always prefer to sell more units at slightly less profit than way less units at a $1 extra profit, just because in the long run it's probably going to work out where doing more volume is going to be better for your business, and not only profit wise, but it's also going to increase your reputation with Amazon as they see you're a more noteworthy seller as you're selling more and more items, and getting more and more feedback from these sales. So I kind of set 20 as the ceiling here, and then I went ahead and set 1650 as the floor, right as it was kind of tanking, because that was the point at which I would make a little bit of money, and then get all my money back in the process. So that's kind of where the floor and the ceiling come from. And back here I didn't have the AI version, so I was just maximizing profit. But now this AI buy box winner actually does some really cool stuff. It will kind of fight for the buy box, and once it gets the buy box, it'll gradually increase the price. I've noticed that using Be Cool AI like really dictates the price on what the listing what the listing price is going to be. I honestly couldn't tell you how it works, but I've seen some awesome results with it. Again, that's going to be below. So let's go ahead and look at some books here. If you're a bookseller, maybe what should I price my books for, considering that it's going to get way more value out of it during textbook season. So I bought this one in the off season for, I think, $20 was my cost on this one, which in retrospect I probably shouldn't have paid $20 for it, but it worked out. So yeah, we've got another nugget for you guys is always pack your SKUs with information. We've got supplier, we've got date I sent it in, we've got the price I paid for it. So later on when you're running your profit calculations and repricing, you can say, am I actually going to make money on this sale? You can refer to your SKU rather than having to pull up your listing software or whatever. And it's a much quicker process for going ahead and repricing that inventory. But in this case, I bought it for $19. I listed it in September, it looks like. September 7th, I listed it. It must have looked like this. So what I was seeing on Keepa when I listed this item was, let's see if we can find it here. I was seeing kind of this when I listed it on Keepa. So I was seeing these big increases in price. So in retrospect, I probably would put the floor somewhere around $45, but I think what I did, just because this price didn't increase this much during this textbook season, but the volume was still there, so you're still going to see a significant prime bump. So I went and chased that prime bump for next school year, which ended up being here, and I set the floor price at $37, and then the max price doesn't really matter for textbooks as much as it matters for items that you have a whole bunch of, just because you could go as high as you really want to when you only have one off, versus if you have a whole bunch of them, you don't want to have the price go artificially high, and then those items just aren't going to sell because customers don't want to pay that. In this case, these students don't really have a choice on whether or not they're going to pay that prime bump. If they're going to buy the prime bump, they're going to buy it almost regardless of price. So I went ahead and set the minimum at $37 and the ceiling really high up. And it was actually able to sell for, it looks like $44 here, which would have net me. So I sold for $44 and I paid $20 for it. So not a crazy flip, but pretty guaranteed money by looking at the Keepa there. So I was able to 50% ROI, make $10 on a $20 spend. If you could do that consistently, that's I don't really know a whole lot of like other investment strategies that are gonna yield you those kind of returns. But so that's how I kind of set the minimum price here, given that the Keepa kind of indicated that the volume is really high, and people are willing to pay that bump during the textbook season. And occasionally you'll see products, especially books, where the used price doesn't really increase that much during textbook season. So maybe like this would be a good example. So this would kind of scare me because the volume isn't keeping up with the number of used offers, where the students can pretty much always buy this book for $20. Right here towards the end, it ran out of $20 copies during textbook season, which this would kind of lead me to believe that maybe that prime bump wouldn't be as powerful during this next semester. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you got some value out of it as far as how to set your prices in the future to go ahead and find that balance between profit and getting volume, and when to maybe go ahead and tank with everybody else, get your money back and put it somewhere else. If you want to go ahead and check out Be Cool, I use it all the time. It's a great repricer. I saw massive increases in my sales when I started using it. Again, that link's down below. There's going to be a free trial. If you want to go ahead and check out the Facebook group, that's also down below. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. That's going to help me out with the algorithm. But that's going to do it for this one. Thanks, guys.